5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Behind the scenes, behind the curtain. These are the stories that'll make you glad you became an accountant. This is Soundwaves TMI.
Hey, it's Soundwaves TMI. We are back, and it's not been 6 months. Actually, we're just back.
Let's go!
I'm going to drink to celebrate.
You know what?
Seriously.
I will say this. We did plan on going weekly through January, but we created a show that kind of made fun of and took the piss out of award shows and Hollywood celebrities and dropped it the day the fire started, and then thought better of that.
Yeah,
and took it down. So you will see it. It is very funny, but wasn't the right time.
And believe it or not, sometimes we can actually read the room.
Sometimes.
Which I know is a bit of a shocker.
Yeah, but here's the problem, though.
Yeah.
There's never going to be a good time anymore.
I know.
That time has passed. So what we need to do is we need to soldier forward.
I agree.
For our own sanity and the sanity of our audience, we just need to keep doing the thing.
I feel like you're quoting... Sorry. I feel like you're quoting Rudy Giuliani here when you're on Saturday Night Live saying it's time to laugh again. You're dripping. You're dripping a little up here, darling.
It's time to laugh again.
Well, that's scary. Spot
Wait,
on.
isn't that Colbert's Eric?
Yikes.
Okay, all right. No politics. No
I
politics.
know, right? We swear. I can't do politics.
I know. Yeah.
I'm just
We do
barely
drink my beer and
I'm
talk
just
about
barely
things.
hanging on.
We do this, so we don't do that. All right. So yeah.
Agreed. So yeah, weird start to 2025.
Yeah. Can we? Can we just unplug the ear and plug it back in and just make
Yeah, when in doubt, unplug. Seriously though, I don't know when this drops, but if it isn't till February 1st yet, can we start over on February 1st?
Let's do it. I
mean, seriously,
I like this plan.
Reboot. The problem is that we have so many loved ones who have birthdays in January.
Yes.
You Capricorns are making me feel all kinds of guilt that I hate January. I hate it. And I'm with baby Huey, who recently said on the bone, he hates January. He's always hated January because it's just cold. You don't have the holidays to look forward to. I mean, you guys have birthdays to look forward to, but the rest of us are just cold, and we got the, post-holiday blues.
It's just cold.
And it's dark.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, you live in LA, so you don't get that at all.
It's not cold there. It's not cold here. It may be a little chilly.
I beg to differ.
I beg to differ, too.
Yeah,
I
I've been freezing
agree.
my nuts off for the last month.
Same.
I've been layered.
Hashtag pussies. Oh, yeah.
Mr. SoCal can't relate over here.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Mr. Upstate New York.
Yeah, but you haven't lived there in 100 years. So you can't. It's like me.
There's a little something for you.
It's a little.
She's number one.
It's like me with Oklahoma. I don't live there either, but that's a very good reason as to why I don't live there. Because cold is bullshit.
No, I agree. And that's the thing. That's why I'm out here.
Yeah.
That's why
But it's all what you get used to. And I did become a pussy very, very quickly after I left Oklahoma. The heat and the naders and all of it. Yeah.
And the what?
Tornadoes.
Oh, you said naders.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not familiar with that local colloquialism. The naders?
Yes, the tornadoes. Although now it's snowing 10 inches in New Orleans. So,
that is true. That
you
is
know
true.
what?
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen at this point? And Southern California cannot get a drop of rain.
No. Now, when those big fires started, it had been 84 days since the last time it rained down
Wow.
Jesus, really?
So, everything was just ready to go.
Well, and you don't have the built-in moisture. I hate that word. Moist. You don't have the built-in moisture.
Don't I, though?
You're so moist. I'm making myself. I can't even get the sentence out. We have fog here in Northern California, and quite a bit of it from time to time, which of course has a little bit of moisture built into it. You don't have even that.
Nope.
You got nothing. You're bone dry. You're an old bone dry lady up there, down there.
Man, there are.
I was trying not to say down there, but then it didn't make sense. I had to commit. Down
Man,
there.
I'm being good. I'm holding all my comments.
you don't have to say a goddamn thing. She's got it all covered.
I know.
Sorry.
She's.
This is the happiest moment of my year so far. I'm just glad to be here. I'm just glad to be here. Okay, in all seriousness, though, seriously, walk us through WTF, because we were worried to hell about you. Of course.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, take a look at this. This is a map from that great app that really got a lot of attention when those fires broke out down there. So the little Superman logo in the middle, that's where I live. And you can see, and believe me, all of my neighbors, all of my friends and family back east are like, holy shit, you're surrounded by fires. In theory, yes. Yeah. Fortunately, my area that I live in is residential.
Right.
Flat.
A lot of concrete.
A lot of concrete, no grass, there's trees and stuff, but still, it's not hills that are covered with foliage that hasn't had water in, 3 months or whatever.
Right.
So fortunately for me, for us and people in my neighborhood, we were never really in danger.
Right.
But holy shit, everybody else, I mean, thousands of people lost everything.
I know.
And
when you look at those pictures, I can't imagine. Have you gone to any of the areas?
No, I wanted to stay out.
Stay away, yeah.
And because there's still stuff they're still cleaning up and all
Sure,
that.
sure.
And even just trying to go out for a walk or something like that, I actually had to check which direction the air was blowing, the wind direction and stuff and everything, because they're saying there's all these, toxic fumes from paints and from foam and chemicals and all this stuff that's just hanging out.
You know what I found really strange, and I'm assuming this is truth. I didn't fact check this, but they said a lot of that stuff doesn't even show up. Like on your app, when you pull up how the air quality is, it doesn't even register that sort of thing.
No. I mean, you get wind direction, and it's like particulate matter or stuff like that, but it doesn't say what that stuff is.
Right.
But there was somebody who actually had ash that had accumulated in their yard, and they took it in. They were like a scientist dude who went in and had it analyzed, and it had lead from old paint from 60 years ago and stuff. And that's just, that shit'll kill you. If the fire doesn't get you, the leftover stuff will.
Well, I mean, that happened after 9/11. So many of the first responders, because of what they were breathing in, that ended up happening. I can't even imagine. I mean, the photos that we're seeing, and I know they don't do them justice, but like in the Altadena area in Pacific Palisades, I mean, I did the math. I know you're surprised, me too. But it would be like just the Pacific Palisades area would be as if 2.5 Pacificas burned up.
Really?
That's
Okay,
that.
wow.
Yeah, that
Okay.
amount of acreage.
Yeah.
Because I had to put it in perspective because it's so enormous. You have a hard time wrapping your head around it.
Yeah.
And when I kind of laid it over where we live, I was like, oh my.
Well, LA in general, I'm sure, you've got your topography figured out, but
Yeah.
LA to me, when I go down there, it's just so vast and so expansive.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I am when here's the aerial shot, and it's just nothing but fucking lights,
Oh, yeah.
And so it's hard for me to get my bearings and understand how big that is. So you say that it's 2 Pacificas, and it's just like,
That's
okay, I
just
get
that one
I
fire.
get that. Yeah, right.
That's the other part of it.
Yeah.
Now, I used to live down the street from where you live now, so I knew in essence you were safe because I know very, very clearly exactly what you're saying. It's a lot of concrete and all that. But still, when you look at that map and you go, oh my God, like they're coming from every direction. Plus, right after that, like the Hollywood Hills one popped up, which is much closer to you.
Yeah.
Scary
that
close.
got my attention.
I'm sure.
Because Mount Lee, where this Hollywood sign is, there's that radio tower that's up on the top and everything. I step out my front yard and I see that radio tower. I see that hill over there. And then when that fire broke out, it was kind of like, okay, now it's time to start thinking about what are we going to grab? What are we going to take with us? When are we going to, we didn't go so far as to start pulling stuff together because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go and start pulling costumes and, just figure. But we
I love that you said pulling costumes. That's so precious.
Well, that's
no, but I get it. I fully get it. You don't have to explain yourself. It makes perfect sense.
Okay, not
it's very
costume.
on brand.
It's not costumes, but actually memorabilia.
I know that's,
stuff that's valuable.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like lockbox valuable.
But when that fire started and it was over on the other side, just on the other side of that hill, got my attention.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other people, a lot of my other friends. There's another fire that just started 2 days ago.
I saw that.
And people are out there with their phones going, here I am in my front yard. There's that fire on that hill over there. And it's kind of like, God damn it. It's shit. But the thing is, everybody's stepping up, and it's one of those things where it was a once in a generation fire.
Yeah.
With the winds that were blowing 80 to 100 miles an hour.
That perfect storm.
You would see footage of ash and embers just going horizontal. There was nothing that anybody could have done to do anything about that. But of course, communities are coming back, and they're fighting it. And there's concerts, and there's some of the award shows are going to be fundraisers and stuff like that. So there is you can make a difference. We do come back, and in fact, I'm going to segue a little bit into something because when we came in today, there was a little something that was under our door. Here, a little piece of mail that got dropped off for us, and just in case you don't know if what you do makes a difference, when we did Soundwaves Christmas. We say, hey, we're doing a thing, we're collecting, we're talking about these charities and all that sort of stuff. There's like a separation between this is what we're doing and we're trying to help people.
Yeah.
Who are these people?
Yeah.
Who are these entities or whatever? Because you don't know for sure.
Sure.
But we got a piece of mail. And I'll show this to you. This is under the door today for Soundwaves TV here, right? Mm-hmm. And this is a lovely greeting card that came in. And it was, Merry Christmas and thanks for helping us have an even better Christmas celebration. You're all greatly appreciated. Hope you and yours have a great holiday. Respectfully, Family 1096.
Oh, wow.
So this is from a family in Pacifica that got something from us, from Soundwaves Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
That's rad.
This is us helping people. And always find the opportunity to help. Always take advantage of the opportunities when they avail themselves. If there's something going on in your neighborhood, if there's something going on down the street, if there's something going on in Los Angeles because you know people down there, help when you can, because it does make a difference.
Yeah, it does. Well, you just answered my question is there hope down there? I was hoping that there was hope, and it sounds like there absolutely is.
Yeah, because that's what we do.
That's right.
We endure. We persevere, we endure, we get the shit done.
Yeah. I feel that in my bones. That's great. We're going to frame that and put it up just to remind ourselves what it's all about.
What we're doing makes a difference because there is a separation. We've talked about this before.
Sure.
I'll be real quick about it. We used to, when we started doing Soundwaves Christmas and we had people bring stuff down, we physically had things in our hands that I knew was going to go in somebody's hand.
Yeah.
And when we changed that model and we started doing the pre-recorded and edited and all that sort of stuff, there is that separation where you do the thing and you put the word out and all that, but you don't know. Like you said on the Christmas show, we don't know if you're going to click on that QR code and do anything or not. We know.
We know now. Yeah.
So
that's the nature of digital now too, because like you used to collect all the things, and now a lot of people just want money because money really cash is king, and they can use it for whatever they want.
Sure.
So you hit a donate button and it goes. And it's off into the ether. That is really special.
Well, we had somebody on our set who's a dear member of not our crew, but our extended Soundwaves family.
Yeah.
And he runs a foundation, and he has to spend X amount of dollars to maintain the foundation. It's in the charter. And so he has, every year he calls me and says, who are you guys giving to?
Yeah.
Who are you supporting this year?
Yeah.
Is it anybody different? And so I'll tell him about the charities. Oh, they're cool. They're cool. And what did he send out? $5,000?
I believe it was.
$5,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Doesn't want us to say his name.
He doesn't want us to say his name, although he's an angel.
Yeah.
And I know he does have to give out this amount of money, but he's in charge of this because he was a proven angel to the person who put him in charge.
And it could go anywhere.
It could go
but
anywhere.
He comes to us
Exactly.
and says, where can I help?
Right. Yeah.
And if you come to a Soundwaves event and you see this big, happy, jolly fellow,
Yes.
pat him on the back and say, good job. I'm not going to say who it is.
No, you'll know.
Biggest guy in the room, and it's not Baby Huey.
And it's not Baby Huey. Baby Huey's like, hey, you could have let him think it was me.
Well, that's what he gets for shitting all over January.
Oh, wow. The Capricorns are pissed. All right, here we are. Yeah, I get it.
It's on now. It's on now, big guy.
All right, well, we have a lot to get into.
Yes.
We've got goals. Did you made some goals, I hear, rumor?
We did.
Actually,
you made us.
Why don't we take a break and then come back and then talk about some 2025 goals?
Let's do it.
This portion of Soundwaves TV is sponsored by Breakers, voted Pacifica's best daytime restaurant serving classic American breakfast, brunch, and lunch specialties. Great food, friendly staff, and amazing views with outdoor dog-friendly seating. Life is better at Breakers. Open daily from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Rockaway Beach. Check out the menu and plan your next visit at ilovebreakers.com.
So one of the things you do at the beginning of every year, and I've known you now for like 7 years, 8 years, and at the beginning of every year you do the same thing, and you're like, I'm making my goals.
Yeah.
And it usually, corresponds with the year, like 2025, 25 goals.
That's right.
And I've never done that. I've never done that. I always have my to-do list. I have my, I'm going to get this done this week, this month, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I have set a number of goals like at the top of the year, and then they get pushed down on my to-do list, and they're on page 4, and I discover them in October. And I was like, I was going to do that thing. I was going to clean the garage. And so you've made us make lists.
I love that.
Right?
I love to be a happiness bully in this way, a goals bully.
And I'm like, okay, so where do we start? So we talked about this last time, and I think it's super cool that you're making us check in monthly.
Yes, monthly reset.
And that's cool because I've only done like one thing, but started inching toward the other two, but they're all on my mind now. You know?
Yep.
And I just think that's super cool. And
I'm
I think
like a
everybody should
proud
do this
mama
too.
right now.
Everybody should do this. Really.
You should, yes. I have my niece and nephew do this.
So tell me how you discovered this. When did you start this?
Yeah.
And why this is gonna change the world. Why it's gonna make the world better.
I love you for that. Well, I've always been a goals person, always, my whole life. Been very motivated, write it down, make it happen, all that stuff. But several years ago, I don't even remember how many, maybe 5, 6, something like that. I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, the Happier podcast with Gretchen Rubin, and she was doing this. So all credit to her. This was her idea, or she stole it from somebody. I'm not sure. But I was like, oh man, that's genius. I love the kind of whimsical idea of marrying the number of the year and all that stuff. And it just felt like a fun way to get it in my face. And then it just started growing. I started taking a screenshot and putting it as my screensaver and then having it on my wall where I get ready so that I actually do see it. Because like the first year, you're right. It's in my notes in my phone, but how often did I open my notes in my phone? Right. And so I just made it more prevalent all the time, and I got better at it. And what I say, and I might be annoying as you go through your list, but when I say better, I got more specific because I found myself the first year being very vague, like I want to lose weight. Well, that doesn't really do anything,
right?
Because there's no measurable anything there. Or I want to write, a book. Well, how about start with I want to write the first 2 chapters of a book. So I found myself really getting more granular with it, and then it just took off in my life, and I'm very proud of where it's led me at this point. It's the reason I've done a lot of the things.
It's a wonderful barometer for me, which kind of expands the reach of what I do already. And again, I'm only okay at it because I have I've had the same. You see that says 2025 temp.
Yeah,
I've had the same Google Doc, the same one. I changed the name of the year. I've had it for 10 years.
Yep.
It's 80 freaking pages long of notes and how to do this and where my electricity is plugged in my house in terms of like what circuit breaker is what room. I've got my
your life
whole
manual.
life in this. Yes, exactly.
Literally.
So, but at the top is my to-do list. You'll see it says to do here at the top. Well, anyway, you'll have to trust me.
Yeah.
And so what happens is I always just kick stuff down. So this always ends up down here, and then I forget about it because I'm working on a couple of things up here.
Hence the monthly reset.
Yes. Yes.
That's why
Exactly.
it forces all of us to go back and look at it.
And it's good. And for me, I'm like, okay, so there's things I want to do with the Soundwaves brand. There's things I want to do creatively. There's things I need to do around my house, and there's things I'd like to do for myself, read more, lose, maintain a weight, that kind of thing. And it's been really, really great for that.
That makes me really happy.
You
have no idea. Yeah. I think the monthly reset came up to, or it could be quarterly, whatever you want to do, whatever makes it relevant to you. What I would say, and I haven't seen your list, so I don't know, but what I would say is make some shit easy too. A lot of people will pile on like their biggest hopes, dreams, and goals for their whole life on this one list for 1 year. And it's like, woof, don't kill yourself here. Get some lofty stuff, but get something easy in there. Like plan a dinner with my besties in January. Okay, great.
Sure.
Like
I've got reach out to family.
Exactly.
More.
Yeah.
I see that and I go, oh, who haven't I reached out to?
Instead of more, I would say weekly or bi-weekly.
Sure.
Or whatever it is, just so you're like, you find that rhythm.
You bet. Yeah, exactly.
Like my weight training went, like I have to be there 3 times a week. And I've been checking myself. So far this month, I've made it.
Well, before I pass this to Steve, the one thing that I did do that I'm super happy about is that there's a lot of things I want to write and I want to direct and I want to do. I'm working on a documentary. It'll be friggin' done at some point. I don't want to hear it.
He was talking to us, by the way. Not you.
I got a lot of shit about it. It's taken a long time. But there's other things I've wanted to get to writing. Other books, other projects. One book that could become a thing, that's shot. So I'm like, I'm going to do one a month.
Yes.
Whatever that thing is. It's either going to be, I'm going to get to the end of chapter 1 by the end of this month. I'm going to get to the end of whatever. But I started January 4th, and I'm actually to a point where I'm going to probably finish the month with an outline to a brand new project.
Yes!
And I've been thinking about it for years. But we always think about the thing. And if you're even remotely creative, you write songs, whatever, you think about it. But this is actually giving me kind of the tools to do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I have a goal. And my goal is checking in with him because he's like chief, creative partner here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I'm like, he's going to be coming up this weekend. I'm going to present this.
Yes.
That's my goal.
I love it.
And
That's
so
fantastic.
It's weird how just having little tiny homework is due Friday. There's something about that that just makes it a little more real and a little more tangible. And now I got a goal. Now I got to get this done by this day.
You have to treat yourself as if these things are other people and or things. For instance, if you're going to go to the gym, write it down like it's a doctor's appointment. You don't cancel it. You show up for yourself like you would respect somebody else's time. Respect your freaking time. And I started doing that. Like I locked it in times. Like these are the days. On Sunday, I do my weekly reset, and I look at the week and I go, all right, like where can I place all of these things that I need to do? And then I show up for them, even if that is me. Show up for yourself. On a big giant board in my gym in my garage, it says "Show up for yourself." And my husband hates it because he walks in and he's like, God damn it, I have to work out now. He does that almost every day. He's like, you and your notes. I'm like, I know, but it's true because it does slap you in the face because your time is important. You need to respect your time and you need to show up for yourself. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
And thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you want your list, Steve?
Do you have any specifics that you want to share before we move on? Or,
I mean, I kind of covered them in bulk. I mean, there's creative stuff, there's Soundwave stuff. I'd like to grow our YouTube subscribers, but I mean, how do you do that? You just go, hey, like and subscribe. By the way, if you're watching this, like and subscribe.
Exactly. Yeah. It's free. It's easy. You're doing us a favor.
There's things I want to research. I mean, there's fast channels that I want to see about getting Soundwave stuff. I mean, I want to expand our brand this year.
Yeah.
We're such a multi-pronged thing with podcasts and radio and music and entertainment and all this stuff. It's just like, so how do you go, where does the brand flow? And that's kind of been our identity, challenge. And so that's one of the things I want to do this year is I just want to hone all this talent.
Yeah.
I mean, we have all this talent. We have all these amazing people working on stuff.
Yeah.
And I just want to, I want that to be appreciated. I sit back as the guy who slaps it all together. I edit it and I'm like, my God, this is such good stuff.
Yeah.
We have the most talented people in the entire Bay Area, coming to talk about the things they're passionate about, music and art and all that and how to do shit. And I love that. And I just would like it to, ascend, expand.
Well, I don't want to go off on a tangent and go off the tracks here, but I do just want to take up for us for 1 second with the YouTube thing. Sometimes we are limited by things like publishing rights and licensing with music.
Yes.
Our big intention with Soundwaves as a general with Soundwaves TV is always push the music, right? But we've always been handcuffed on things like YouTube because we can't post some of that stuff. Therefore, our show couldn't live there. And so we've battled things like that. There's more of those, scenarios, but that's a biggie. So I get defensive. I feel myself getting defensive. Like, no, we're really doing great stuff. We just get blocked.
No, you're right.
At every angle,
not
it seems like sometimes.
Us not doing the thing.
Yeah.
It's that we are handcuffed is a great word.
Yeah.
Because that's a killer example because when it comes down to just playing music, all the hoops, all the, and I get it. Artists need to be compensated.
But we're here to promote.
But we're promoting you. So
compensated.
where's that wiggle room there in the algorithm where the algorithm goes, oh, this is a promotional thing as opposed to they're stealing that music. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes.
So
we're waiting for that update.
We're figuring it out. I don't think it's coming, and I think it's only going to get worse.
Which is why we've settled into doing other things to help kind of get the whole brand out there. So if you're watching TMI, for instance, then you might go, oh, I'm a new watcher. There's a TV show about music. I'll check that out. It's kind of like. It's again, I say this every time. It's all ships rise kind of idea.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
Well, see, and now here's the thing, because my list is kind of different. Because Dennis's list primarily is how to make Soundwaves a better thing.
It's only a third of my list.
But we love you for it. Yeah. We love you for it.
Mine is more personal stuff, and there is some creative stuff in here as well. But being able to sit down and actually see stuff in front of me, because my attention span is like zero these days. My memory is crap. I have trouble focusing on stuff and everything. And to actually put a word to it, put a number next to it, to be able to look at that thing. And I'm going to print this out and I'm going to post it because I didn't even think about that. That's a great idea because it's right there in my fucking face to remind me to do the thing. And it's stuff ranging from, I've got these display cabinets in my living room where I've got some Superman collectibles over here, and I got some Lone Ranger and Pirates of the Caribbean over here, and I need to clean them.
Yeah.
I need to take stuff out and dust it and put it back so it looks nice. I got one of them done, so I got at least half of that goal done. One of mine is to go out, and I took it easy on myself too.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to make it a point of going out and going for a walk at least 3 miles 3 days a week.
Yeah.
I've been going, with the exception of 2 days when the fires and the stuff was, ever since January 1st, I've been going out every day.
That's great.
And I'm getting up to like 5 miles, depending on if
Fantastic.
So I'm setting goals for myself for stuff like that. But there's also bigger creative stuff.
Sure.
I've got this TV series that I'm working on.
Yep.
And it's a matter of, okay, I've got this part done. How do I get it to here?
Yeah.
And okay, well, it's a TV series where you've got a pilot written, but how about writing more episodes? So you've got a bigger package put together. And having a bigger package is an important thing.
Always good. Yeah.
Always good.
Yeah.
So so I'm starting to work on that stuff as well.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like the documentary. I have wanted to do the Soundwaves Party Guide for a long time, a book, to put out a book, the Soundwaves Party Guide, because Soundwaves and party, it's kind of my thing.
It is your thing.
That's my jam, So actually putting this book together, that's on my list of things to do.
Yes.
But as well as just organizing
But
stuff.
to Chasta's
I love that.
point, a book is a big ass thing.
Yeah.
Maybe what you do is you go, I'm going to write this first chapter, or I'm going to do the recipes, the bar, the cocktails.
Yeah.
Like take a sliver of that book and go, this is going to be my February goal, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like started now.
Yeah.
So
Could you do a Kickstarter or something for that? Because I would give you my money right now.
No.
But it will
Your
nudge
money's
you.
no good here.
Oh yes, it is. I will fight you over that, sir. It'll nudge you in the right direction. It'll force your hand.
No, because I'm thinking with the Party Guide in particular. With self-publishing, Dennis has already published a couple of books and everything. So once the thing is done, then I'll go, hey Dennis, how do we get this out in front of people?
Sure.
So it's good. You will be participating in the process when it comes to writing it and your own chapter
Fun.
and stuff like
I
that.
love it. Yeah.
Like, the New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
Is
Yeah,
gonna be all
Yeah, I got you covered.
Yeah, so for stuff like that, and to be honest with you, I kind of cheated a little bit on my list because I've got 25 things, and I actually accomplished a couple of them already, and took them off and put other things on.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
score.
Oh my
Look
God.
at
You
you.
just accidentally segued into what I was going to say next. That's wow.
Chasta, why don't you take it?
Some mind reading stuff. So what I was going to tell you is that you'll find throughout the year you're doing these cool things that you're really proud of, but they're not on your list. And like, God, I really wanted to check something off my list, and this is really cool, but it wasn't on the list. I do a TaDa list. At the bottom of this 25, I write TaDa, and it's my TaDa list, not your to-do list. Your to-do list
That's
is
good.
a drag. Your TaDa list is all about celebrating the cool shit you did. So just
Wow.
jot it
All
down, right?
All right.
And then when you scroll to the bottom of that and you're looking and you're like, God, I'm really kind of sucking it up. No, I'm not. Look at this TaDa list.
Yeah, that's great.
And it just gives you like a little boost to
That's
get the other
good.
stuff done.
That's good.
Yeah,
Nice.
I like to hack this stuff. I'm clearly a nerd.
I was
but
like, that's a good little endorphin hack right there. I
it
like
really is.
Yeah,
It's amazing how much
Nice.
you can get a little bump. Like if you clean out your attic, that wasn't on my list, but I remember I did it one year and I was like so bummed because I thought, why wasn't that on the list? I want that little, because I have the little black check mark. And that's when I came up with TaDa.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that'll give you a boost. I'm so proud of you guys for doing that. I know that sounds really freaking cheesy, but honest to God, so when I was in New Orleans and I was with my family, my niece and nephew were there. And of course, I always talk with them about this kind of stuff when I see them because they're like my children. And so I was telling them about my list and it inspired. Michaela did hers immediately. And then fast forward 2 weeks, my nephew Cash, just out of nowhere, texts me his 25 for 25 list. And I was like,
Nice.
oh my God, I've infiltrated their brains. Hallelujah. Like he was thinking about it halfway into January. And that made me so happy. So now I have their list. If you want to send me your list, I'll print them out and I'll put them up so I can hold you accountable too.
Yep.
I'm all over it.
Okay, so before we wrap up, I want to talk about one thing, and that's how we are jumping off the Titanic this year, and we are establishing our own. This is the year to really put this stuff on the map.
Yeah.
And in that spirit, I want to talk about some of the things you've launched. Rock Your Life is back.
Hallelujah.
Okay, and that's
Yay.
your podcast, and that's your
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Exactly. Ta-da!
and that's one of your brands. That's your stream of consciousness,
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
right? And Chasta and Huey.
Yes.
I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So, further adding to the things that we are doing to build this family of entertainment, really, or talk or whatever. So, pitch us. Tell everybody where they can.
Well, I'll give you kind of the elevator pitch or, the side story real quick. So Rock Your Life was a podcast I did for a couple of years, 3 years ago. When I got promoted to be the program director at The Bone, as you guys well know, my life went absolutely chaos. I was getting my master's degree in radio. So anything that wasn't crucial had to come off the list. Like it just had to. So unfortunately, I put it on the back burner. But New Year's Eve, I was in New Orleans, and we were far too close to what happened that night. And that was a real wake-up call for me, that the time is now. If there's something burning in your heart, and that's what Rock Your Life was years ago. It was like this whisper. Like all the time I would just hear that phrase, Rock Your Life, in my head. And then I started thinking, like, how can I get this out into the world? And that's how the podcast came to be, because it was all about doing it now and doing it big, like going for it, living life to 11. And so, and I stopped doing that. And I was like, wow, I'm such a hypocrite, because I let myself stop living for me. I started living for my company. And as much as I love my job, I really do. If I died next week, I would be replaced the week after that.
Right.
You know, so like the things that are important to me, which Rock Your Life is, because it's my stream of consciousness, it's my therapy, needs to be prioritized. And when I had that wake up call on New Year's Eve or the day after, when we were all like, what the hell just happened? It came to the surface. And I was like,
good.
No time like the present.
Good.
So let's freaking go. And then Chasta and Huey. So this is this is a
whole nother podcast.
This is a whole nother thing. I'll try to sum this up. So at the end of 2024, the Boneheads know Lamont and Tonelli were let go. They had about 2 months where they were working on contracts with corporate. I had nothing to do with it. It was way above my head. But they were working on contracts. So we knew that they might come back, or one of them might come back, or they might not at all. Like, we knew something was happening. But in the meantime, you have to keep the ship afloat, right? And so I was like, well, we're doing a morning show. And I grabbed Huey and I was like, we're all in. And I have to give Huey his flowers, because he followed me into the fire. We knew how hard, gonna cry. We knew how hard that was going to be. We knew we were going to get such pushback and be hated on, because we're filling shoes of these icons. There's no win there.
No.
Literally no win. But it was like, he didn't even hesitate. God bless that guy. He was like, let's freaking go. So we went on for about 5 weeks before the holidays and had a blast. And once Lamont came back, we decided we're going to continue this. And we're gonna do it for us.
Good.
And so now we are. So Chasta and Huey on YouTube, and audio is on the Bones website. But yeah, it's a real treat. I'm very happy.
Excellent.
Doing a lot of stuff for us.
So 2025 ain't so bad.
It ain't so
after
bad.
all, you know, because you got to take control.
That's right.
You know,
it's about perspective. It's what you just said earlier.
Absolutely. Yeah, you really have to decide, this is my life. This is the life I'm going to live. I'm going to be in charge.
Yes.
And you have to.
Yes.
You can't let what's going on out there, especially the shit that you can't do anything about.
That's right.
Preach.
That's right. Yeah.
So you just grab life by the balls, do the thing,
That's right.
and let's have some fun doing it. And the fact that we're doing it together,
Yes.
it makes me happy. It really does.
Me
It
too.
fills my heart to be able to do what we're doing and do it together.
Me too. That's
did.
what
On that
matters.
note,
I love you, boys.
love you too.
We love you guys. Thank you for being here with us. Cheers. 2025 will get better, I promise.
Cheers.
If not, we'll drink more.